Alright, welcome back people. We got ourselves another good game today. Starting off, we got Kel up here. Kel is going to be playing Kylar. Now he switched it up a little bit. This isn't your typical human variant Kylar. This deck is looking to put counters on big creatures and go tall instead of wide. Then we got Daizu over here. Daizu's playing Aeve. Now Aeve is looking to cast a lot of oozes, slimes, put counters on them, swing out with combat damage. Now moving down to Dr. Screw. Dr. Screw's down here. He's playing Breena. Now with this Breena deck, he's looking to pillow fort up a bit, make it hard for us to attack him, and then buff his opponents up, leaving us to take each other out. And then myself, I'll be playing my Volo deck. Volo, I'm down here. Now with Volo, I'm looking to use the ability to cast creature spells, duplicate them, and get their benefit over and over again throughout the game. So, you know how our decks work. Hopefully you enjoy the game this week, and without further ado, let's take it to the table. We got ourselves some gamers this week. They like to shortcut plays ever so often, so I'll try not to lose pace with my commentating. Also, don't worry about those life totals up there. We'll get those situated real quick. Let's get on with the getting on. Alright, so Kel's going to get us started by playing a forest as his land for turn, passing it over to Daizu, who's going to do the same. Daizu passes it to Dr. Screw, who's going to drop a Tainted Field as his land. Passes it to me. I'm going to play a Athletic Grove, giving it to Kel. Kel's going to drop a Plains into an Arcane Signet. He's going to pass it to Daizu, who plays a forest into Voyaging Satyr. Dr. Screw's then going to drop a Plains into a Mind Stone, passing it to me. I'm going to keep the ramp train going by playing a forest and casting a Rampant Growth of my own. I'll pass it up to Kel. Kel's going to drop a forest and then go ahead and cast a Talisman of Unity. After that, he's going to cast Hardened Scales, passing the turn to Daizu. Daizu's going to untap. He's going to drop a forest as his land for turn and cast Inexorable Blob. Before Inexorable Blob comes down, Kel's going to get disconnected, but he'll be back, don't worry. He passes the turn to Dr. Screw. Dr. Screw plays a Godless Shrine as his land, and out comes Breena. Commander number 1 hits the table. I'm going to go play a forest as my land for turn and follow suit. I'm going to play Volo. Commander number 2, welcome to the table. I'm going to pass it to Kel. Kel's going to tap out and cast Kerbis Harvest Celebrant. He's going to tap out for that, so Kerbis is going to come in as a 7/7. That's a big tree. Big tree. Pass it over to Daizu. Daizu's going to drop a forest. Then he's going to tap 2 to go ahead and play Nissa's Triumph, searching his library for 2 basic forest cards, passing the turn down to Dr. Screw. Alright, from there, Dr. Screw is going to untap, drop a Plains as his land for turn, then he's going to cast Bloodthirsty Blade. Now he's going to go ahead and equip Kel's Kerbis with Bloodthirsty Blade and pass the turn over to me. Now I missed my land drop, so I'm going to play a Solemn Simulacrum. Hopefully I can prevent that from happening in the future. I'll get 2 thanks to Volo. Thanks, Volo. Kel's going to go ahead and play a Command Tower as his land for turn. And he's going to play a Smothering Tithe into Blind Obedience. Okay, now this is a power play. So the table's now got to pay attention to Kel up there, making a lot of treasures, having all of our stuff come in tapped. With that, Kel's going to go ahead and swing his Kerbis at me. I'm going to block it with my Solemn Simulacrum. Draw for that trigger. And with that, Kel's going to pass turn over to Daizu. Daizu's going to start his turn off by paying 2 for Smothering Tithe. Pay your taxes, people. Pay your taxes. Then he's going to cast Abundant Harvest, naming non-land. With that, it's going to reveal Stampede Driver. Now he liked that play so much, he decided to do it twice. He's going to tap 2, cast Regrowth, returning Abundant Harvest to hand, and then cast Abundant Harvest again, naming non-land. This time it's going to reveal Aeve Caretaker. With that, he's going to pass the turn over to Dr. Screw. Dr. Screw's gonna drop a Plains and cast Windborn Muse. Up, here comes the Pillow Fort. And with that, he'll pass the turn over to me after paying 2 for Smothering Tithe. Now I'm gonna pay my Smothering Tithe taxes, and I'm gonna go ahead and get a Smothering Tithe of my own by casting Clever Impersonator. And because of Volo, I'll get 2. Thanks, Volo. So I'm gonna get a Smothering Tithe and a Solemn Simulacrum. So I'll go search for another land, passing a turn up to Kel. Kel is going to pay for my Smothering Tithe, and he's gonna cast Growth Spasm, looking for some more lands. After that, he'll cast Wall of Mourning, and then he'll attack me with Kerbis again. I'm gonna go ahead and block that attack with my Solemn Simulacrum, and draw for that. This gold is getting to be a problem. It's really eating up my sad robots here. Running low on robots. The Daizu is gonna start his turn. He's not gonna pay for the Smothering Tithe triggers this time around. Then he's gonna tap out and cast Aeve Caretaker. It's gonna come and tap, and at combat it's gonna put 2 counters on his blob. Then he's gonna pass turn over to Dr. Screw. Dr. Screw's gonna drop Rogue's Passage as his land for turn, and then enchant the Inexorable Blob with Vow of Malice. After that, he's gonna go ahead and cast Duelist Heritage, which allows him to give attacking creatures double strike. He's gonna use it on our creatures. We just know it. I'm gonna go ahead and start my turn, sacking my 2 treasures to pay for Kel's Smothering Tithe trigger. And then I'm gonna tap out and cast Myr Battlesphere. And because of Volo, I'll get 2. Say it with me. Thanks, Volo. With that, I'll get 8 Myr creature tokens. And Kel is gonna use those to cast himself a Custody Soulbinders. It's gonna enter the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each creature on the battlefield. Moving to combat, you just know it, that Kerbis is gonna come down at me, eating up my last sad robot. Now I'll draw for that. Kel now has a 20/20 creature on the field. This is a problem. Daizu is gonna start by dropping a Forest as his land for turn. And he's gonna cast Stampede Driver. After that, he's gonna cast Okra Jelly. And then cast Waxing Moon, looking to transform his creature. Now we are aware that that shouldn't have worked, and the creature shouldn't have transformed due to how the old werewolves interact with the new werewolves. But we don't really like that rule, so we did what we wanted. It's Commander. He's gonna pass the turn over to Dr. Screw. Dr. Screw is gonna drop a Swamp. And he's gonna inconspicuously move 2 lands over there, creating a pile of 5 lands. We probably should have been paying attention to that in hindsight. And then he's gonna tap and cast Norn's Annex, making it even harder to attack him. Now, in order to attack him, we'll have to pay 2 mana, plus an additional white or 2 life per creature attacking him. I'm gonna start my turn off by playing a Forest into a God Eternal Ronus. Because of Volo, I'll get 2, sacking 1 to the Legend rule. I'm gonna double the power of all of my creatures twice. After that, I'll swing 1 of my Myr Battlesphere at Daizu, tapping 4 Myr to do so. This is gonna make my Myr Battlesphere's power 20. And with that 20 power Myr Battlesphere, I'm gonna cast Return of the Wildspeaker, drawing myself 20 cards and making Kel 20 treasures. After that, I pass turn. And Kel's gonna start vomiting out his hand with all those treasures I just gave him. I'm hoping that I can hold on for 1 more turn at this point, because I just drew a good portion of my deck. Kel starts by casting Legion Loyalty into Kylar, his commander. Then he casts Lifecrafter's Bestiary into Kogla, the Titan Ape, and then he casts Ajani, Valiant Protector. Kogla fights Breena on ETB, and then he moves to combat, swinging his big creatures at me, making copies of them attacking everyone else. And it was at this moment we knew we messed up. Now with that combat, Dr. Screw is going to end up with 50-1 flying Inkling creature tokens, and the table is not prepared to deal with that. So hopefully Daizu can draw into an answer and save us from this impending doom. Daizu untaps, draws for turn, and did not draw into an answer. And with that, Dr. Screw takes the dub this week. All he's got to do is swing 20 of those Inklings at me, taking me out of the game, and then send another 20 up at Kel, taking him out of the game, and then send the remaining of those Inklings over at Daizu, taking him out of the game, leaving him the victor this week. Alright, that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we can build this channel up, get some traction, get a nice subscriber base, because the ultimate goal is to build a Discord community where we can have spell table games going on around the clock. So please, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Why don't you leave a comment telling me what your favorite commander is, and we'll keep the ball rolling. Thanks, and I'll see you at the table.